Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mrs. Rosado, please do our roll call.
George Andrews,
Present.
Rebecca Bear,
Present.
Ann Cotrillo,
Present.
Mike Cotrillo,
Present.
Jason Goldstrand,
Present.
Keith Carcutt,
Present.
Debbie Kulik,
Present.
Rich Lehman, Shanika Story,
Present.
8 present.
Okay, thank you. We welcome all of our guests. If you haven't had the opportunity, please be sure that you sign the attendance paper outside so we have an accurate list of who was present at the meeting. An executive session was held this evening before the meeting for the purpose of discussing personnel, litigation, and negotiations. Need a motion to adopt this agenda for April 20th, 2026 as submitted, with the Board of Education reserving the right to add to the agenda and take further action on any items raised in executive session where immediate action on such items is considered to be in the best interest of the district.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve the minutes of the March 16th, 2026 regular school board meeting.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I'd like to now turn it over to our student board representatives. We will first start off in the North High School, Dylan and Lawrence.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's nice to be back. You know, we're in the April now, close to the last stretch. We're almost there. And so we'd like to start with academics. Next. The spelling bee, on March 23rd at JT Lambert Intermediate School, High School North Junior, Jana Batoon, who's sitting right there with us, has achieved the senior level hat trick by winning his 3rd competitive in 3 years at the Russell C. Hughes Monroe County Spelling Bee Championship. You know, super proud, 3 in a row. We're hoping for one more next year. I'll be waiting to hear for that.
Good way out. All right. Congratulations.
So I want to say congratulations to Jaden. You know, we'd love to see North excellence. Next. The 250th anniversary of America Essay Contest. I spoke a little bit about this last meeting, but we finally decided to turn it in. You know, everything was turned in, and so it was an essay contest to help commemorate the 250th signing of the Declaration of Independence. And basically, the students were asked to write what America means to you. The 2 student winners were Annalisa Cullum and Gabriel Days. Congratulations to them both. So we're very excited for them.
Now on to the arts. Next, please. The North Chorale went to Harrisburg on March 30th. This was a part of Music in Our School Month, a way to celebrate music around the schools and bring our most talented people to Harrisburg and display what music is all about in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. I think this is a great experience for the students, getting to see Harrisburg and getting to be up close with all that stuff. I think it's just an amazing experience for the students. And I think it's just, again, great to spread the arts and spread the talent that we have within our school district. Next, please. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. How could we not talk about the musical? I don't know how many people here saw it, but oh my goodness, it was amazing. This might be my favorite of the 4 years that I've watched. For those of you who don't know, I'm a tech crew member, which means I run the sound, and it's always so much fun to wait until I get to see each year's production and see what talent has come out of the students and all the staff members who dedicate their time to the musical. Just like an absolutely huge shout out to all the students. This year was truly amazing. Each student really brought it up another level, and it was such a fun and impressive time to watch. Next, please. Here's some pictures. 2 of the pictures are of the actual show, which I think it's just good to see how just cool it looks on stage. And the 2 pictures on the right are from our art set designers, because I think it's really important to make sure that we acknowledge that there's a lot of talented musicians on stage singing and acting, but there's also a lot of talented artists who go in the behind the scenes and spend countless hours making sure the play looks absolutely perfect. I know from the tech rehearsals, the students were working on art for the play at every hour in between, and they were working on it weeks before and weekends before, and they were really sinking as many hours as they possibly could into the musical, and it just turned out to be such an amazing experience for all the students, and really, I think, displayed the excellence of North students in the arts. Band adjudications. On the 14th, the North bands participated in the annual PMEA District 10 adjudications. In easier terms, an adjudication is pretty much we go in front of judges and we get judged for how well we can play and how well we can perform. Every year we also host this event, so it's a great opportunity for us to also help other schools and witness other schools' bands and maybe take information from them. This year we hosted 2 bands from South, a band from Moravian Academy, and a band from Pocono Mountain West. This year we scored a score of 292 out of 300 points, which usually that's a very good score. Just in like simple terms, that's a very good score. It's been a really long time since we've seen a score this amazing, and I'm very proud of all the students in the band who performed and tried their very best, because we did outstanding this year, and I'm very proud. PMEA All-State Acapella. This year, we have one All-State singer, and that's Joseph Canetti. We're very proud of him. He auditioned in a group of hundreds of students and was selected one of the 16 people who go to this festival out of, again, hundreds of applicants. So only 16 students got accepted, and Joseph Canetti was one of those 16. On Thursday and Friday, he will rehearse at ESU, and then the concert will be held in the JTL auditorium on April 24th at 7:30. Another amazing thing with this is every other year, students who make the All-State ensembles get the opportunity to audition for national ensembles and all Eastern ensembles. And this is one of the years where Joe will get to audition for an all Eastern ensemble, which is a very amazing thing. And I'm wishing the best of luck to him, and I hope he does the greatest. Now, there's also a lot of upcoming events for North Music events, and I know a lot of these are going to happen at the May, and I'll re-talk about them at the May, but I think it's important to get our eyes set on these. Next week on the 28th, ESASD Jazz Night will be hosted at the High School South. The North Jazz Band will participate in this. This is always just a fun festival for us to spread our love for jazz and enjoy the musicians of South and just spread music. Then on April 30th through May 4th, the North Bands will be taking a field trip to Tennessee, where we will perform at Dollywood, and we will get to see the Great Smoky Mountains. And overall, this is a key part of the band experience, is getting to travel and getting to play, not just in our hometown, but getting to play all over the country or wherever music may take us. Then on May 14th, the North Annual Spring Concert will happen. At the concert, you'll hear from the mixed choir, the chorale, and the treble choir. And then there's a senior celebration at the end, and we will be bringing back the North Low Voices Choir, which I think is a great thing. On May 17th, the annual Pocono Youth Orchestra Session 3 concert will happen. At this concert, we have many students from the East Stroudsburg School District who participate. And in previous years, we've had several students from both South and North, and I think it's overall a great experience for North students in music to get involved, just that extra little step in an orchestra environment, because we don't have an easy way to get to that in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. And then lastly, on May 19th, the North Annual Spring Band Concert will happen, where you'll hear from the jazz band, a senior ensemble for the Star Spangled Banner, and the North Concert Band. And on to Lawrence.
Yes, the arts have been way more busy than the athletics have. So as of right now, the only shout out we're giving is for the East Stroudsburg North Unified Track Team. They beat both South and Bangor in their opening meet on April 14th, and they will be home and celebrating senior night on Wednesday, April 22nd. And I know our track and field team varsity sport is very excited to go to the CAV invite this Friday. So we're very excited for that. Next. Extracurriculars. Next. The NHS induction ceremony on April 22nd, North will host its annual NHS induction ceremony. And at the ceremony, we will recognize the incoming members and current members, along with inducting new officers for the 2026-2027 school year. Actually, earlier today, we announced our 4 or 5, I believe, new officers that will be taking our places. And so we're very excited to honor them at this induction ceremony. Next. TSA states, this is a highlight. Over April 15th and 20th, this past week that just passed, members of the TSA club participated in the Pennsylvania conference. At the conference, Diego Cano and Naraya Acosta placed second in debating technology issues, earning them a spot in the national conference. We want to say congratulations to Diego and Naraya. And I know we had a lot of other finalists and placers in the TSA states, and so we are really excited for them, and we're really excited to see what they do at nationals, and we are hoping in a other conversation, the finances of this. So, that would be a other conversation, but we are hoping for, some district help. Just want to put that out there so you can start thinking about it.
Nice pitch. Well
They-
done.
I like it. Very nice. Like, well done.
They would kill me if I did it, and I also am hoping the best for them.
Where is nationals?
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Next, talent show. On April 22nd, High School North will present its first annual talent show. The show will run twice during the school day and once in the afternoon. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. So first block, I believe, and last block for the students, and then after school for everybody else. We hope to see everybody there. It's our very first one, so we're getting it started, and we'd like to see support so that in the future we keep it going. So we are very excited. We want to say thank you, to all of our new administration who brought this to North, and so yeah.
So the talent show is Wednesday night. National Honor Society induction is Friday night, the 24th.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you for your time, and that'll be all.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
As always, enthusiastic and perfect. Thank you. Okay, now let's go south, and we have Marion Ellis, and we have someone new from south. I'd like to introduce Paxton Shermansky, who will be also joining as a South rep. Welcome.
Everyone, like Mr. Cotrillo said, this is Paxton Shermansky. He is very involved at South, and he will be the next student board rep for you guys next year.
Yep.
This month we decided to do something a little different. We compiled a newsletter since we missed a couple of the last meetings due to weather and everything. So we have stuff from January up until now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask if Mr. Cotrillo had any jokes, but I think I'll spare everyone tonight.
Well, if you really want.
All right, so first up, we have teacher recognition. It's always good to shout out our staff. In January, we had Mrs. Hess and Mr. Rogers. February, we had Frau Brooks and Ms. Bird. March, we had Mr. Kramer and Mrs. LeBady. And for this month of April, we have Mr. Fernandez and Mrs. McGee. These passionate teachers have been very committed to their students, using innovative teaching styles to motivate their students. We thank these teachers for all that they do. Next up, we have the different class departments. The science department in February, Mrs. Hughes and Ms. Decker took 25 sophomore and junior girls to ESU to celebrate the United Nations Day of Women and Girls in Science event. This event focused on the role of new and emerging technologies in shaping the future of STEM. The girls were also provided an opportunity to interact with an ESU speaker panel to help determine their best course pathways to find success in their anticipated field of study. The reading classes took a trip to ESU, and students from the reading classes went on a field trip for the completion of our literacy project with ESU students. They spent the morning exploring what growth mindset is, self-advocacy, and social-emotional learning. Then they had lunch with the college students. To the right, we talk about our transition students. This group is always looking to try new experiences in our community. This December, they traveled to the East Gourmet Buffet in Bartonsville for lunch. They did not invite me. That's okay. This was some of our students' first time eating at a buffet, and some of them even tried sushi for the first time. In February, Mrs. Belia brought supplies and helped our students make their own tie-dye shirts. At the bottom, we talk about our spring pep rally and prom. This year, we had our spring pep rally outside at the stadium. We recognized our spring sports and our prom court. We look forward to having our prom this Saturday at Penn's Peak, and we look forward to seeing Dr. Vitale on the dance floor.
Really?
Careful what you wish for.
Lastly, for this page, we'd like to talk about Red Cross. In January, we hosted their Vaccinate a Village fundraiser. Donor names were displayed on snowflakes around the hallway so they can get recognized for their help. Something as little as $2 went a long way, helping the global impact against measles and rubella.
All right. I'm going to start with FCA. I'm the huddle leader of FCA, and this club has been nothing short of amazing, and I'm so grateful for it. But it's the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and it continues to be a student-led voluntary club that offers a safe place for all students to build friendships, connections, and community at school. And we're very proud to share that our weekly huddle meetings have consistently hosted a very robust number of participating members, no less than 40 students, and this is just a remarkable response from our school community. And in fact, it says May, but FCA has been the most consistently attended club this year at High School South. And I like to refer to it as a family. And this Saturday, we have our Borough Beautification Day. So I'm just super excited for that. And I'm just grateful for what this club has already done and where it's going to go. And for NHS, on Friday night, 49 students were inducted into the National Honor Society. And I also just want to congratulate all of the senior members that we had for all their hard work, as well as the new NHS officers that are going to be stepping up for the 2026-2027 school year. When it comes to art and sports, for the art side, sophomore Emma Ace earned honorable mention in the 2026 Monroe County Art Show. This was the 180th art show that took place on March 27th through the 29th. For sports, for the rifle team, they finished the season with a 9-1 record, placing second in the Northeastern Pennsylvania League. In PA State's competition, Brandon Betzoni placed 10th and Brody Owens placed 18th. For the softball team, they currently are 7-6, and over the last streak, they've had a 6-game win streak, which is honestly the best start they've had in a long time. So that's just super awesome for them. Over to track and field, the boys and girls track and field teams are enjoying another remarkable season. Currently, both squads hold a perfect record of 5-0 as they prepare for tomorrow's competition against Stroudsburg. This meet will be crucial in deciding whether both teams can secure the EPC North Division title once again. And we invite everyone to join us for senior night tomorrow to support the Cavs. Over to wrestling, Joey Kappa and Ariana Pieretti won the district wrestling tournament to become the first district champs for girls wrestling in Cavalier history. So what a major accomplishment right there. And while Jaden Learn and Fiona Claire took third, all 4 girls qualified for the regional tournament for a chance to go to the state championships. Coach Randy Litz was named District 11 Girls Coach of the Year, and Joey Kappa was also named EPC champ. On the boys' side, Josiah Rodriguez took 4th place and Jonathan Agintetti took 5th place. In the District 11 AAA wrestling tournament, advancing to the regional tournament, and Josiah and Ariana went over to compete at the state tournament. So what a year it's been for the wrestling team.
Yeah, it was a little cut off, but Ariana was actually the first girl wrestler in our school's history to make it that far.
Excellent.
All right, on our last page, we have our Future Educator program. The High School South Future Educator cohort completed their final field experience in March with visits to 2 district elementary schools, graciously hosted by Mr. Kersetter and Ms. Smoke. During this experience, cohort members spent a full day shadowing elementary teachers, observing the complete school schedule, including classroom instruction, specials, and lunch. Throughout the school year, students in the program had the opportunity to work across multiple grade levels within the district while completing structured observation and reflection activities. The coordinators are extremely proud of the dedication and professionalism demonstrated by the students. We are also deeply grateful for the outstanding support from district staff and administrators, the collaboration among schools, the willingness of teachers to host students, and the seamless coordination of transportation and scheduling have made this program a meaningful and successful experience. This year marks the completion of the 3rd year of the High School South Future Educator cohort, and we are proud of the continued growth and the impact of the program as we support students in exploring education as a potential career pathway. All the teachers that help out with this, Mr. Kramis, Ms. Brotherton, Mr. Cool, and anyone else that I'm forgetting to mention, they work very hard for this program, and we thank everyone here for allowing this program to grow. Mr. Haley's Multicultural Perspective Program had their 4th annual Women's History Month event, and it was a student organized and developed. We hosted Scranton Mayor and U.S. Congressional candidate Paige Cognetti in a discussion and question and answer session. This was a really fun event that I was able to sit down with. It was really cool to see someone local as a woman who is making movement, who's like making waves and not afraid to step up and out of their comfort zone. Our Allied Health Kickoff event was on Friday, March 6th, and about 25 students from both high schools participated in the Pathway Kickoff event hosted here in our library in collaboration with Northampton Community College. Professors and instructors from NCC shared with students all of the various career opportunities available in allied health. Thank you to the ESASD for the continued support of such vital programs offered to our students, and also to NCC for sharing their professional time, talent, and expertise with our students. A special recognition to Ms. Polmonter for her words of wisdom shared with our students.
All right, I'm gonna start with the superior and the amazing class of 2027. If you guys haven't put 2 and 2 together yet, I'm part of the class of 2027. They're definitely superior. So we recently held a successful dodgeball
Talking
tournament.
about South, not at North.
So we recently held a successful dodgeball tournament. This event had over 10 teams compete, including a team from JTL. And the event raised $431 for the class. And I'm the class president for 2027. And let me tell you, prom is expensive. So it's great that we're able to raise this money. And over for our spring musical, I just want to congratulate the staff and the cast for the spring musical 9 to 5. If you guys didn't get the chance to go, I'm sorry for you guys, because it was awesome. I mean, out of my 3 years I've been at South, this is probably the best musical I've seen, and the energy was great. And if you were there, I personally don't know how to describe it. It was wow, it was something. It was great. So shout out to everyone who helped and participated with that. And for Spring Gala, it was an extraordinary celebration of joy and connection. We unite to share an unforgettable evening of dinner and dancing with exceptional students, both past and present, who enrich our lives and halls with their presence. Our hope is to give them a beautiful moment they will always remember. And I think that's exactly what happened. Spring Gala was amazing.
Thank you. You vote.
Now, before you go,
Got a joke.
Oh,
you requested a joke.
no.
What,
You did this.
what do you call an alligator detective? An investigator. Next month you won't ask.
Your fault.
But thank you and welcome, Paxton. Appreciate you being.
Keep your day job.
Okay, we'll move.
Paxton won't be coming back now, so thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be moving on to MCTI. I believe Caitlin is online for us. Am I correct? No, but- Not there, Anthony? Okay, she maybe could be. If we catch her, we'll bring her on a little later then. Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on. Thank you, students, and we'll move on to our superintendent. Oh, I'm sorry, we're back. Okay, and Caitlin with MCTI report. Welcome, Caitlin.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good evening, school board members, administration, staff, and guests. My name is Caitlin Oleta Mora, and I am the MCTI ambassador. 27 students attended the Skills USA State Conference during the dates of April 8th to 10th, and MCTI placed in the following competitions. Third place, cake decorating, extemporaneous speaking, and web design. Second place, teamworks and precision machining technology. First place, and in crime scene investigation and in customer service, and they're going to nationals. The National Technical Honor Society held its 8th annual Trek for Tech, and it was extremely successful. On April 18th, MCTI students volunteered at the Pocono Builders Home Show. MCTI carpentry students built a doghouse for the doghouse competition that the Builders Association was sponsoring. All proceeds from the raffle was donated to Awesome. On April 24th, HOSA will be having their second blood drive for the year. All seniors are working hard to finish their Noctis. The MCTI senior recognition will be on Tuesday, June 2nd of 2026. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Caitlin. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Great. Thank you, you too. We will now move on to our superintendent report. Dr. Vitale.
So as Lawrence and Dylan spoke about, we have two prestigious guests with us tonight. And gosh, weeks ago at this point, we held the 2026 Russell C. Hughes Monroe County Spelling Bee, and East Stroudsburg Area School District swept it. So there are two different groups. There's the intermediate school, middle school group, and then the high school group. So tonight we have with us two of our members. Do we want to go around and honor them really quickly?
Absolutely.
That way it might be a little easier. So congratulations, Ariana Manser. And then the trifecta, I believe it's 5 years in a row overall. I want to say, as the moderator, Mrs. Rosado and Dr. Kowski were there as well. It was so awesome to watch the Stroudsburg students dominate, and like, I was just so full of joy. So congratulations, Jaden Batoon, for again dominating this spelling bee. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And at the spelling bee, I have to tell you, Ariana got the most challenging words. And then they would ask for a definition. They would read the definition. I'm like, nope, doesn't help me any. So good work for both of you. Really impressive. And thank you for just being engaged in that process. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Mirabelli for a finance presentation.
Oh, and a mighty good Grandpa Joe, too. Grandpa Joe in the play.
All right.
He was Grandpa Joe. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Jim Mirabelli from School Business Consultants. If you recall, when we last met, we had been talking finance and we were working off some projections and assumptions where the district was headed for 24, 25, and then looking at 25, 26. Tonight, we're in a much better position from an informational standpoint. We've closed that fiscal year, we've completed the audit, and now have actual results to work from. And at a high level, those results came in a little better than expected, as you will see. But I want to be very clear about something up front. Those improvements do not mean the underlying financial conditions and challenges have been resolved. What we're seeing is a structural imbalance between revenues and expenditures. Our recurring costs, particularly salaries, benefits, special education, and other categories, are growing at a rate that are outpacing our revenues. So my job tonight is to walk through, we're going to review some of the economic factors that brought us here, what we know about the audited fiscal year 24-25, what we project for 25-26 to finish this fiscal year, and most importantly, what are some of the next steps moving forward. 2 slides forward, please. And we'll get right into that. One more slide, please. So I just want to start with some historical revenue, and these are updates from what I had presented at a previous meeting here. So this is just kind of your historical budget versus actual revenue results, right? So you can see over time, you see a positive trend of revenue going upward steadily over this time. But more importantly, if we look at the difference between budget and actual, your actual is generally coming in just a little bit higher each year. And you really want to have that conservative revenue budget and come in a little bit over. If you come in under, that you're trying to fight both sides of the expense and revenue equation, right? So that's a good indicator there over time. If we look at the expense side of things in many years along this trend, you'll see that that is also the case along the way, right? So there were a number of years where both sides of the equation worked out, and you saw revenues exceed expenses, you had a surplus. We're seeing in recent years the opposite, right? So we're coming in with some favorable results, but not enough to balance the budget in the last 2 fiscal years. We'll talk about that in a second. Touched on this last time. I want to talk about assessed value trends, and what we're seeing here is actually a depreciating mill, not a growing mill, right? So on the left, you'll see Monroe County, which had a reassessment in 2020, and we understand that there's another reassessment coming in 2028. Right, so I actually have some very current experience with that, so I'm happy to help you through some of the circumstances that and very specific detailed steps that you need to go through with the data that you're given when you're given it, probably in late 2027, or I'm sorry, early 2027 is probably when you'll start seeing some of that data come through. Here are your millage rates. You can see during this time, even though there's a drop that's just from reassessment, millage rates have remained the same basically, except for rebalancing over time, with the exception of the current year where there was a 2% tax increase. The revenue trend, you can see some revenue growth there, albeit in current years, we saw a little more stimulus funds over the last 3 prior years. No stimulus funds in the 25-26 year. You can see that little green sliver, although it's a little small on the television. That little green sliver kind of shrink into about a third there because the stimulus funds have gone away. But an upward trend nonetheless. You can see that 2025 year is higher than the current year, and I'll explain what some of those one-time revenues were in just a moment. A word on spending, and this is a measure that I would have loved the state to publish the 24-25 data, where I could show you what 24-25 looks like relative to the state and your IU20 school district peer group. But this is a measure of spending per student, operational spending, where this excludes debt service and expenses like this. So this is a true look at what you spend in the buildings on students, that type of thing. In East Stroudsburg, which is the line in blue, it spends about $2,500 per student more than the average school district in Pennsylvania and in CIU 20, right? So a higher spending district, higher spending in the state as in terms of spending per pupil. So those dollars, largely going into the classroom here, as this metric would show you. Next slide, salaries and benefits. I want to just talk about staffing versus enrollment. And this slide, data was available for me to update for you. So as we look at enrollment over the past about 8-year periods, you can see enrollment ticks down over that time by about 4.9%, right? So enrollment down over that period, although pretty stable in the last couple of years. Meanwhile, we see staffing increasing at a clip of cumulatively 11.2%. So there's a bit of a divide there between staffing and enrollment. We see staffing increasing and enrollment decreasing and now remaining pretty steady there. And that goes through 24-25. When 25-26 data becomes available, I'll be happy to share that as well. Salary and benefit trends, and this is a big slide here because when we last talked, this was a projected slide for 24-25, and 24-25 is really a landmark year. We had a new collective bargaining agreement in that year, and that took costs up district-wide pretty significantly. And if you look at the salary and benefit totals, the purple line and the blue line kind of stacked on each other in 2025 versus 2024, the increase in just salary and benefits district-wide was $19 million, okay? So there's no tax increase of any kind that you could get anywhere close to even a fraction of that $19 million. So our cost structure went up pretty dramatically without revenue to support that. Okay. So that's kind of a central theme there. We'll put a marker in that. The last time I talked about this, we talked about the need to be competitive. So I wanted to provide some data and a visual representation. There's a lot going on this graph here. And what this is we leveraged Forecast 5 software and we sent them every contract in IU20 that we can get our hands on that has a 24-25 published salary schedule, right? They took that data, loaded it in the software, and now we're able to compare all of the salary schedules that are available across, okay? So East Stroudsburg is in the third column, all right? And you can see in 2024, the red, that's your bottom of scale, and the sort of brownish maroon is your top of scale, right? So you can see that East Stroudsburg was clearly among the lowest starting salary in 2024, right? And you can see, and as we collect more contracts and they make those available, we can get those imported into the software, and then you could see even more comparisons. So it's a nice tool. Anybody have any questions on what this is? Okay.
So each color represents a
A step.
particular,
On the salary schedule. So the reddish, I guess that would be red or maroon, that would be step one, the lowest one. And as you go up, every little sliver is the next step up until you get to the top step, which would be step, I believe 16 steps are on your contract, correct?
in each, right,
I'm sorry.
I think we backed it down to
I think
12.
it's 12, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 2024.
Yes,
right?
correct. Yep.
So at that time, there were 16.
And then every bar.
So each
doesn't
bar
have the same
represents
A step,
a set.
a step.
So this is showing that most of our professional folks are on the lower end, so to say. We
Prior
have
to
more,
24.
Yes, prior to the
24,
collective
okay.
bargaining agreement, there.
Okay.
I'm demonstrating that you were among the lower.
okay.
Lower salary schedules
Mhm.
prior to. And now we'll look at the same graph for the next year. And you can see much more competitive, right? So your bottom of scale is very competitive. Top of scale, very competitive. You see you have fewer steps, so you have a little bit more compact scale, right? So I just wanted to show that contrast because, I was asked last time about, are we competitive? And this is the best way I can show you, the effect on what that did in terms of being competitive in the region. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, next slide, please. Charter school tuition costs, obviously, everybody knows this is a huge expense. And when we talked last time, we were speculating about charter reform, charter reimbursement. So happy to report that of all the districts we're working with, it seems the most material impact has been here at East Stroudsburg in terms of cost reduction. And that, unfortunately, it's because you had a high rate for cyber charter special ed and a population, so you have a lot of volume and rate there. So you can see where we're projecting in the green bar for the current year is actually lower than what we've been budgeting for the last 2 years. So seen some real relief, north of $1 million in relief, I believe, from my calculations in, cyber charter tuition. So that's a positive development there, right?
And
if
we have our state representative here, so thank you, Representative
Thank
Probst.
you, Tara.
This is a beautiful graph because of your hard work. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
So material difference there with the cyber charter reform. So now let's talk about the 24-25 audited results. And this high level boils down to what did we budget? What did we actually end up with? And what was the variance, right? So you can see we budgeted a deficit on your leftmost column of $17.4 million. We actually ended up with a deficit of $10.3 million. Now, that's certainly not good news. So we lost $10.3 million. but the deficit improved by $7.1 million, okay? And let me explain in the next two slides, advance, please, just what those items. First, let's talk about the two one-time revenues that were matched with one-time expenses. So really no effect on the bottom line, okay? So we used $5.1 million in ESSER funds in the prior year. And we used most of them on, I believe, HVAC projects, right? So one-time revenue, one-time expense. That's not going to hurt you in the following year, right? The other one was we bought buses, right? So we took out a $5.9 million note or bond, I'm sorry, and we spent $5.7 million in that current year. There was still a little excess to be spent. It was right at the end of the fiscal year. So one-time revenue, one-time expense. Yes, we're left with the debt service on that. So that's not an exact one-time because we do have to pay for that, obviously. But the one-time help to the budget that we received and will not receive that again is rental and sinking fund payments. These are Plan Con reimbursements, and they were backlogs of a few years. And I understand we cleared that backlog, which created $5.2 million of additional revenue than we were expecting in the prior year. Good news, would have liked, you want that to be smoothed out and you want the revenue to keep coming. But that was good news for 24, 25, but that won't repeat itself again. Material expenditure variances. So we were talking about a positive charter school tuition variance thanks to charter reform in the current year, but in the prior year, we budgeted 1.57 too little on charter tuition, right? So there was $1.5 million to the bad there. So that was a negative cost variance. In special ed, and we're seeing these variances at all the schools, $1.2 million over budget there. VOTEC tuition was $800,000 under budget. We understand that there's some rebates that come back, and those are undetermined at the time. We think that was a good budget estimate, but you later found out that there was a break coming your way from VOTEC. Interest paid on bonds and loans came in $400,000 under budget, and your contingency of $1 million went unspent. So those are the big rocks and the things that changed during the year to help you improve and shrink that deficit a little bit. But we still ended up with a pretty sizable loss in that year. I do want to point out, because the central to the conversation of variances is accuracy of your budget. Approximately 75% of your budget is salaries and benefits, right? And here's a stat I just like to give, because your team here in the business office is doing a great job budgeting. Your salary budget of $86.1 million came in actually at 86, basically $0.1 million, right? So budget and actual were right on the money. And why is that? Because your team is going through line by line, position by position, step by step, column by column, and getting every person where they belong in your software, right? So when you talk about budget accuracy, your team is really doing it well. And when you're looking at your salary and benefit amounts in the budget, I would propose that you should have confidence in what they're doing, because it really is a meaningful number there, because and the proof's in the pudding here with the financial results. On to the 25-26 forecast. So we're leveraging here your Forecast 5 software to project out. This involves looking back at 5 years of data month by month and projecting forward from February, then March, April, May, and June. So getting out through June. So this is where we project you'll end the year. And here are some of the under-overs, right? So green is good news, red is bad news. We're projecting that you're going to collect $1.5 million in current real estate taxes more than budgeted. So a little over, about 1.5% more than we budgeted, which is pretty good, right? We'd like to see you come in a little over, and that's, be honest, by design, remember we talked about being conservative on the revenue side? You certainly don't want to come in shy of that number. So that's good news there. 720,000 in delinquent real estate taxes. This one's a little harder to pin down because you don't know what's going to come in until July, basically. But based on trend and 5 years of history, it looks like you'll have a very favorable balance or variance there. 400,000 better than projected on your interest earnings. Why? It was looking like when we were budgeting that interest rates were going to drop faster than they have, right? So they have dropped, but not as far as we thought, right? So it's good news. 500,000 on other local revenues. There's just a miscellaneous revenues, some St. Luke's stuff in there. So that came in better than budgeted. 100,000 in basic ed funding. We know that's a known number. 160,000 extra in special ed funding from the state. That's a known number. And then we're projecting about $420,000 under budget for rental and sinking fund reimbursements. The reason for that is, one, the state is very slow at processing PlanCon applications. We just refinanced a bond to push it out, right? So that paperwork hasn't been processed yet, or at least we haven't been notified that it's been processed yet. And the other thing is, if you pay less for your debt in the current year, you'll pay for it as you go, the reimbursement will drop as well, right? So we're expecting less reimbursement, and that was considered in the analysis that was done, okay? Now on the expense side, we're going to talk about the $8.8 million in budgetary savings. And that's really the biggest piece of what's happening here in your 25-26 budget, right? So took that debt payment and pushed it forward to create cash flow ability in the current year. The 1.2 million in budgetary savings for charter schools, we already talked about that. Supplies, there's been an active push to really manage supply purchases here internally. So administration has been really monitoring supplies and purchase orders. So we're projecting about a $500,000 savings there. And the same is true for purchase property services. These are like maintenance, buildings and grounds type services. So really they're taking a hard look at all of those different services and managing those as well. So onto the red piece, there's a early retirement incentive. So this is a one-time expense, estimating about $2 million for additional payouts for those early retirement incentives. Now, the idea of an early retirement incentive is, you pay folks out, they retire, and then you begin to generate savings in year one. And so, sometimes it takes till year two, but you'll quickly realize those savings. And that's why this expense will be a one-time one here for this. Also, we had the Health Insurance Trust reach out. The fund balance in that self-insured fund is very low, and they asked for a good faith contribution to, sort of help boost the balance. So we're putting in a 5% per month for 3 months, which adds up to 345,000 additional than we plan to pay in premiums. And then we are also tracking for about 700,000 more than budgeted for retiree health insurance benefit costs. So health insurance is quite problematic for all the schools we're working with as well. This is a real challenge for many school districts. So you're not alone here. That doesn't make it good news though. So here's what the end of the fiscal year projection looks like. Same format here. We budgeted 187.5 million revenue, 214 million in expenses. After all of those changes that we just discussed, we were looking at a $26.4 million deficit. We've reduced that down to a $14.6 million deficit. Still a very substantial deficit that we're projecting a loss, right? So what we'll be doing from here is every time your team closes the books, we're going to rerun projections to the end of the year. If this materially changes, we'll come back to you and tell you why it materially changes. I don't expect it to change in a huge way because we're down to the account level in some circumstances here. So we think this is a pretty solid forecast at this point. Having conversations about the moving parts. But, you know, if anything significant or material comes, we'll come back and report to you and why it changed. So we like to be transparent about, well, you said 14, now it's 16, now it's like, we like to be transparent about, you know, why something changed. So if we do, you'll get a report back from us. Okay. Next slide. So we talk about these deficits and we talk about losses, and I just want to sort of show how quickly the fund balance can go away and is going away, right? So general fund balance as of 6/30/24, we had $51.2 million. In the 24-25 year, we realized a loss of 10.3 million, bringing us down to essentially $41 million. If we realize the projected loss that I just put forth of 14.7 million, we will be down to a general fund balance of $26.2 million at the end of this fiscal year, okay? So if you do the math and you see the rate of which expenses are increasing and revenue is relatively flat, it doesn't take much math to say you will be out of money in your general fund within 1 to 2 years at this pace. Okay. So in summary, can we go back to the previous step, the previous slide? Okay. I'm sorry, forward one. All right, so in summary, budgetary deficit in 24-25 was reduced by $7.1 million, largely due to one-time revenues and some positive revenue results. And in 25-26, budgetary deficit reduced by 11.8, largely due to debt restructuring and some positive revenue results combined with some active managing of your budgetary expenses. Next slide. So from here, we will continue to monitor your fiscal projections. Okay, we'll keep you abreast if anything changes there. We will continue with your team with the preparations of the 26-27 budget, talking some strategy on some different line items. Also, I know people are really waiting for the homestead farmstead numbers as well as tax scenarios. We need from both counties, we need their assessment data. We need from the counties their homestead farmstead data, and we need from the state the the homestead farmstead allocation. So as soon as those data are available, we will be immediately to work on it, and we'll immediately put that calculation together for you all. And that is all I had for this evening.
That's all?
That's it. That's all.
That's
What-
including like the millage rate staying the same, or is that with the projection?
Okay, so here, I just want to be clear. So I was speaking of 24-25 and 25-26 to kind of segue into your next meeting.
Gotcha, okay.
26-27, right? So didn't really talk about 26-27 except about the millage rates and the homestead farmstead. So that's to come, I believe, in May, right?
Gotcha, okay.
So that more information coming there.
Right, so my question was your projected close with an estimated deficit of 14.7 for, that's this year, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Yes.
Two questions. One, do the numbers that you're reflecting for this, for these, on these pages include that extra money that we were, I don't know what's that, the fund that the money we were awarded, but we had to
Tax
put in
equity?
this, yeah, that we were afforded that we couldn't use till next year. Is that in there or is that not in there yet?
The piece that we're allowed to recognize is recognized. The piece that we had to defer is not recognized.
Okay. And then jumping back to the slide about us, I'm sorry for not asking earlier, the assessed value trends. It's very interesting to look at. I don't know if everyone noticed this. The commercial trends in the last 5 years they're squeezing. Is that because of all the appeals and all that sort, Chris?
Yes,
Yeah.
essentially, and no new construction.
And the fact that, our district commercially, our houses outnumber our commercial properties. We don't have the tax base that other districts like Mount Pocono and Stroudsburg have. We have no business. We have no commercial. So the taxpayers, so really, what I'm trying to get at, to encourage the public to head to your township supervisors meeting and say, look, we need to get business in our area too. You know, and we're fighting businesses. It's scary. Commercial
growth
property is,
really and truly helps balance.
right,
it
down,
out.
and it's not.
Right.
So, it's just alarming, but, okay, I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else from any board members? Thank you so much for the information. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good report.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Dr. Vitale?
No, that is it. Thank you.
Okay, right, we are going to move on to our committee reports. We'll begin with MCTI. Jason?
But we're going to change that order. No? All right. The MCTI Joint Operating Committee met on Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 7 p.m. There was no additional information to pass along from various administration and student reports. If you want to see any of the full detailed reports of the directors, supervisors, and representatives, they are all available on the MCTI website. With regard to business and finance, the conference center project, we approved the cooperation and funding procedures agreement and redevelopment assistance capital program. This is the initial step in our partnership with Monroe County Industrial Development Authority moving forward. The facility maintenance, a change order to the CMG was approved regarding the revised roofing details in the amount of $20,437. There were some software and supply updates with the frontline education and absence tracking software. In audit and compliance, we accepted the independent audit of the 24-25 fiscal school year, which was performed by Clifton Larson Allen LLP, and it was then approved. We approved the lobbying certificate. In regard to curriculum and instruction, we're pleased to continue our expansion opportunities for our students. So the Northampton Community College Committee approved new articulation agreements for the following programs: precision machining and tools design, precision machining and CNC basic certification, and machining fundamentals specialized diplomas. Next, the JOC then approved the 26-27 MCTI calendar. This helps our families plan for the upcoming academic school year. And we also approved policy 626, as well as a new position guideline for a part-time assistant chef support. We are proud to encourage our students to engage in higher level learning outside of the classroom, and therefore we approved the following field trips. The CIS, Computer Information Science, participating in Penn State of Technology Game Jam in Williamsport on April 17th, which that's best. And the OPET and Auto Tech visiting the Automotive Learning Center in Warminster. In personal news, we welcome Javon Sims as our new custodian and approved various family medical leaves. We also updated our committee rosters, welcoming Michael Geller and Deborah Schuler to the General Advisory Committee and removing Lyndon Gerkensmeyer from that committee. We are also proud to announce that there was an agreement met between the JOC and the Administrative Compensation Plan. Our next meeting will be held on Monday, May 4th at 7 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
And just a side note, it's exciting to see that the new expansion project is being utilized. The senior awards ceremony is going to be held there for I think the
May
first
4th.
time now.
Yep.
Which will be nice because we'll be able to host, and they've already hosted some local meetings and such, which is really good to see that project really being utilized as by the school, as well as the potential for the community to use it and our students to be more involved in the community, the workforce. And so bringing the workforce into them. And it's really exciting to see that project the way it is.
Okay, good. Okay, move on to Colonial IU. That would be me. At the meeting, we went over two recent audits that had happened. The first was from the Department of Education auditing the IU for their use of federal funds. Happy to report. That was a very clean audit. Everything passed well. Also an audit done for the IU for their annual budget. And again, everything reported to be perfect with their budgeting. Two things that happened that were pretty impressive for our IU. The PA Pennsylvania State IU held a safety conference, and our IU was invited because of their excellent work in two areas to actually present to all of the IUs in the state. One was on crisis intervention and prevention, and the other was bringing employees back to work with light duty for workman compensation. And they, again, were invited to do that, which does show the hard work and how well our IU is working. Also report the annual Excellence in Education Awards. Those are awards throughout the IU where school districts can send in and apply for an award based on some of the good work being done. And they are, the ceremony is held and you receive an award. Also, the merit scholars are also from the districts are honored to that. We're happy to say that for our kindergarten structured play, we will be receiving an Excellence in Education Award, which is a very big honor. I might add that East Stroudsburg has a long tradition of receiving Excellence in Education Awards from the IU, so this is a continuation of that excellence. And that will be held on May 7th. And that will be this year. Usually it's at a venue like Stroudmoor or Blue down in the valley. However, there's been a move now. We are going to move that to the Bethlehem area Votech School, and the dinners and all will be prepared by the Votech students in the culinary program. So just to even further highlight, and rather than going to very expensive venues, to actually bring that home to the IU and also work with the students who are in those programs. So that is an excellent trend, with probability of that being moved to Monroe County Votech next year for the Excellence in Education Award. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that's happening. And that was my report. We meet again this Wednesday, so I'll have more information at our next meeting. Properties and facilities, are you doing
That would be me.
Okay.
Again, this was much quicker. Properties and Facilities met on Wednesday, April 8th at 5:30 PM. The committee reviewed the Smithfield Elementary School sprinkler pump proposal from Pride Barker. We also had a long discussion of the sketch review of the North Bus Facility. Thank you so much for providing those. We reviewed the current capital project list, capital projects payments, and CHA invoices. The committee recommended the following actions to the board: accept the fire sprinkler pump proposal for $11,800 and approve the payment to CHA, excuse me, for the projects invoiced. The next meeting will be held May 6th at 5:30 PM, right here.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Educational programs and resources, Em?
The EPR committee met on Thursday, April 9th at 5:30 PM. My report is a little longer because our meeting lasted almost 2.5 hours. It truly showcased how far we have come in 1 year. Mrs. Snyder started with us 1 year ago, and we had a pretty extensive list, for those of you who've been listening to me report through these last months, really highlighting what our C&I department has done. Our curriculum had been behind 20 to 25 years, so the work that we've been accomplishing in the departments has just been wonderful. I do want to say that, of course, we know that none of these goals could be accomplished without the support of all of our teachers. I would like to begin with a thank you to all of them who presented so thoroughly that evening, representing not only themselves, but the hard work and dedication of their respective teams and departments. We began with Dr. Muniz and Mr. Fakula's intermediate science course plan presentation, which highlighted phenomenon-based learning and how this addition to the science units will better meet our students' needs and keep them engaged in the learning process. We had just started really a year ago talking about STEELs, the new standards coming in, and today, they've already incorporated all of this into our science curriculum. Next, Ms. Polmelter presented the first reading of our curriculum framework. Again, thanks to her and the high school teachers for working together to create this framework so that we will have a consistent curriculum framework throughout all of our disciplines, which will unify the who, what, where, when, and how of all of our subjects, so we can see it unified and our parents and community can see where we're moving. Using this framework, Ms. Signorella and Ms. Communal presented the English 9 curriculum framework and course plans. The amount of time and work that went into this curriculum is outstanding. the blending of the traditional canon with new literary works, with the integration of grammar, vocabulary, and writing into these units is impressive. So much so that they, Ms. Signorella, Ms. Communal from High School South, and Ms. Householder from High School North will be presenting their curriculum framework and course plan at the NCTE conference next year. Kudos and congratulations to them, and thank them for not only their hard work and dedication, but also for representing our district in such a positive and professional way. In addition, our district's overall curriculum process, which is spearheaded by Mr. Snyder, Ms. Polmounter, and Dr. Prile, will also be presenting at the NCTE conference next year. Really a tremendous job by everyone. We're so proud and grateful for everything that they do for our students. Continuing with that curriculum presentations, I wanted to thank Mr. Sanker also from High School South for the presentation of Personal Finance 2. As a reminder for all of us, this is part of that new state requirement. We had done Personal Finance 1 a couple of months ago. Lastly, for our curriculum presentations, Ms. Polmounter presented the General Science Curriculum Framework. And I just want to make a reminder to all of our board members and the public as well that these are all the first reads. So if you have any questions, please direct them to Mr. Snyder before we move ahead to the final submissions and our subsequent vote on adopting new curriculum frameworks. Moving on, Dr. Prile presented the district's differentiated supervision plan, which basically outlines the steps of the teacher evaluation and growth plan. I was on that committee when it was first rolled out many, many years ago. And it was really fun to kind of see the progression of where we were back then, where we are today, and obviously where we're heading. I really felt that it kind of really truly mirrored our district philosophy of maximizing today's potential for tomorrow's success. You know, we're really seeing the philosophy and the continuity of what we're trying to do in our district as far as curriculum is concerned. Continuing that theme of tomorrow's success, Dr. Mayers presented a request for a change in instructional delivery for ESASD. The two changes are Canvas as the learning management system, and that has an integration with over 400 applications. All of the applications we use in our district, such as Sapphire, IXL, EdPuzzle, Discovery Education, and Canva, just to name a few, are part of this integration. Accelerate Education is the curriculum provider, which we already use successfully with our elementary program. One of its strengths, which is a great potential for us moving forward, is that we can integrate existing curriculum resources with Accelerate. The cost to this is an additional $15,000 for the year. But the one thing that's really good to know is that also covers the use of Canvas for all of our teachers in brick and mortar, not just in Osaka. So the EPR committee is recommending the purchase of Canvas and Accelerate as the educational programs. Lastly, Mr. Cucciolo took a little bit of my thunder, but I would also like to offer congratulations to Ms. Blades, Winkler, and Martin from ESC, who presented last month on kindergarten structured play and its impact on our students' social emotional learning for receiving the CIU 20 Excellence in Education Award. And again, if you haven't had the opportunity to look at all the attachments in the EPR agenda as it comes out each month, please do, as they demonstrate how much work has been done by our professional and Act 93 staff in moving our curriculum and district forward. Also, the EPR newsletter now comes out to everyone at staff in email, and it's also published on our website, so you get to see at least a monthly update as well. It's truly exciting to see our district moving forward in a cohesive, planned, and deliberate path. Our next meeting is Thursday, May 7th at 5:30, both here in the boardroom and of course on Zoom. Everyone is welcomed and encouraged to attend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to finance, Rebecca.
Mine is not as interesting as yours, Anne. I apologize. So we met on April 14th, and we had a discussion with PFM about some debt restructuring, which you will see on the agenda tonight. We also spoke about the EBTAP, which is our insurance trust, and that increase that we heard about when they did the budget presentation. We have on the agenda to renew our warranty for our Daktronic scoreboards. Those are the new scoreboards that we got on the fields. We reviewed, and the district made some changes to make it much easier for our seniors to do the property tax rebate. We were reached out to by Ms. Probst over there, saying that our forms were very difficult, and I commend our administration for taking the time to look at it to make it easier for our seniors to actually get rebates that they truly deserve. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. We also talked a little bit about Text My Gov, which we are not going to do because we learned from Dr. Vitale that if the community does want to sign up for our alerts, they can do so from our website, and they'll get the same alerts that our parents get. All they need to do is sign up, and they can get them through Sapphire. So if anybody in the community wants to get alerts on what's happening in the district, please feel free to sign up on the website. And we had a budget presentation, just like you had today, but not as robust. You'll see on the agenda some special education autistic support classroom furniture for purchase. You'll see also VM Cloudware Foundation contract, and you'll also see a donation from the Walmart Distribution Center, where they graciously donated items that we can use in our community and also for our pantries to help our students. And it was both clothing, school supplies, and all that. What else? And you'll see an adjustment in the SES, Stroudsburg Elementary School sprinkler fire pump. We're reducing the cost and kind of changing the way we're billing that out. And you have the recommendations that Ms. Catrillo spoke about in regards to Canvas and the English 9 curriculum resources. And our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 11th, both here and via Zoom. Stay tuned because we'll be doing a lot of budget talks during that, so feel free to come on down.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. And last but never least, Mr. Burkhardt on policy.
Our meeting was exciting tonight, and those that were not there missed it. We ask the administration to post the following items and policies, and they are from tonight's meeting. Policy 221, dress and grooming, policy 236.1, threat assessment, policy 325, dress and grooming, policy 332, working period, policy 209, health examinations, policy 305, employment of classified support employees, policy 306, employment of substitute and short-term and summer school employees, as well as policy 707, use of facilities. We're asking those be put up for review with noted revisions and for public review during the month of April for subsequent board action in the month of May. Our next meeting is May 18th, right here, 4:30 p.m., as well as online. I think that's about it. Did I get it right, Debbie? A lot of exciting things.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Right, we are going to move on to public participation. We do have quite a few people signed up in advance, so just remind everyone when you come up to the microphone here, please begin by identifying who you are. And we are limited to 3 minutes per person. If you want to watch your countdown, you can use the game show countdown up here to keep abreast of how much time you have left so that you are sure to have the most use of your time. Okay, so I'm going to begin with Corey Turner. Corey, are you here or online? Or neither? Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll move on. We could come back to Corey. Karen Iarkane? Is that also online, Anthony? Okay. Okay, Karen, if you can hear us, you're on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hi, I'm attending, was listening for the budget for the coming year, and I am concerned about the possibility of a tax increase. I understand what was said earlier during the budget presentation regarding the lack of commercial properties within the East Stroudsburg area school district. However, we are a community that is receiving free breakfast and lunch for all students because of the overall income rates of the people who live within the school district. And I don't believe that many of these could withstand a tax increase. And the fact is that people are not moving and transplanting at the rates that they were in the early 2000s, that if a tax increase forced people to leave, that people with a higher budget would come and take their place. It's not easy to make budget cuts and look at those. And in my time working in the corporate world, I have been through many a downsizing and restructuring within companies to help settle the budget. The unfortunate thing is many times those smaller positions are eliminated. It looks good to maybe eliminate 5 or 10 lower positions instead of maybe one or more that is higher up. But sometimes the one or more that is higher up will net you more and money than a few lower positions. And I am thinking of teachers who are not tenure and other support staff as well, who are vital to our schools and working with our kids directly and have a great impact on our children and their education. And I just want to really need to look at that and think of not just the numbers, but how we adjust those numbers to continue to support our schools and our students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Appreciate your input. Our next, Carl Mayhauser, if I mispronounced that, I apologize. Carl?
Good evening, board members and community. My name is Carl Bayerhauser. I'm a member of the grounds team, and I'm here speaking tonight on behalf of the entire grounds department. Late Friday, April 17th, 3 days just before this very meeting, we were informed that our supervisor, William Young Jr., will be losing his position effective June 30th, 2026. As a department, we understand that difficult decisions have to be made. However, as a group, we strongly disagree with this one. We believe it will have an adverse effect on this school district. William has been working here since 1998. That's 28 years of service in this district. In 2024, when the first level supervisor position was posted, no one on our team even considered applying because we all agreed that William was the natural best fit for this role. Not only does he have the vast experience, but he is also our small engines mechanic, and we have tons and tons of machinery. Through the many years, he has worked through it all. William did step up and apply, and rightfully so. We as a grounds team even wrote a letter of recommendation for him to lead our department. He has done a great job. There was an immediate improvement in our department from having a supervisor working alongside us to day-to-day tasks. He has led us through some tough times and always been supportive, not just with work issues, but with life issues as well. We have a running joke in our shop. Someone doesn't know how to do something, they say, just go Google it. And William's response is, you Google it, I lived it. And we simply just move on and the job gets done. With all this being said, we are confused and disheartened that our district is going to lose him. We would also like to point out that majority of our grounds team, including William and myself, are proud alumni of East Stroudsburg Area School District and taxpayers in this community. This is just not our place of work. This district is a part of who we are. We have a personal stake in seeing it through and succeed, which is why the decision is especially difficult to accept. This district's mission statement is maximizing today's potential for tomorrow's success. We asked the board on how eliminating this position aligns with this mission. The grounds team is responsible for maintaining a safe, clean, and functional environment where students learn and grow every single day. Removing an experienced supervisor with 28 years of institutional knowledge does not maximize today's potential. It diminishes it. It does not set up tomorrow for success. It creates unnecessary risk and instability. A well-maintained school environment is not a luxury. It's a foundation for
I'm sorry, the time has expired. Did you want to finish your sentence? I mean, feel free to finish your sentence.
sorry, just lost where I was.
Um,
It's not a foundation for student success. It's a strong leadership within our department that ensures a foundation that remains solid. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. 3 minutes. Thank you. Okay, next person up, we have Veronica Murray.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Murray. I'm here tonight because our district is proposing major staffing and financial decisions that directly impact students, staff, taxpayers, and our entire community. We deserve clear answers. Over the past year, the district has created multiple new positions, administrative and professional positions, which Danica is going to touch base on those jobs. We find it interesting that at least 4 of the higher paying positions have been filled with friends of the superintendent, who had also previously worked at Abington Heights High School or school, including Dr. Marlene Perel, Andrew Snyder, Mario Amelia, sorry if I can't pronounce his last name, and Dr. Karen Hoski. At the same time, we are now discussing eliminating and reducing essential operation positions, including Director of Communications and Operations, Mr. Eric Forsythe, who has served the district for 35 years. Supervisor of Ground, Mr. Kirk Young, which is William Kirk Young, who has served us for 28 years. And 3 other supervisors who have been hired recently to fill positions that the district has utilized efficiently for decades. Mike Stricker, Chris Greco, and Dennis Cook. The last hire coming on board just 12 weeks ago. It appears that Cook was hired just to be fired, much like our superintendent was by the Pleasant Valley School District a few years ago. These are not just positions, these are people with families. These are experienced, knowledgeable, and loyal individuals who have continued to serve our district with pride. Yet boardroom decisions are being made that even key leaders and supervisors unaware of this as late as this morning. That should concern everyone, every single one of us, because this is not just about positions on a chart, it's about people. It's about the employees who show up every day to make sure our building is safe, clean, and functioning. It is about the families with health benefits and their livelihoods. It's about work family who trust and appreciate them. And it's about the students who rely on stable, well-run schools. It's about impact morale across the entire district. And when dedicated employees see their positions eliminated without clear justification, it sends a message and not a good one. Nothing is broken in these departments. No clear problems have been identified. So I ask, if it isn't broken, what and why are we fixing it? Breaking apart operations departments and scattering responsibilities does not create efficiency. It creates confusion, gaps, and risk. And ultimately, positions that are eliminated will still need to be replaced in some form, as this evening's agenda shows. It doesn't look like a strategic organization that looks targeted. And that image we're going to stand. Our community deserves transparency, and our staff deserves fairness, and our students deserve a district that prioritizes stability, smart decision-making. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Next person I have is Larry Diamond. Nothing, okay, thank you, Larry. John Rosato.
Good evening, board members and everyone else in attendance tonight. I am John Rosato. I work in the business office, and I am also the support staff union president. I would like to talk about the support staff contract that you will be voting on tonight. I would first like to thank the administration's negotiation team and the support negotiation teams for the many hours that they dedicated to get this job done. This is the first time in my 20 years that I have been working here that we have negotiated a contract before the current one ends. This was also a negotiation that we actually felt heard and was treated with respect. We had civil conversations while adding and deleting items with minimum pushback. In addition, we had 16 support staff join as members so that they could vote. Our ratification vote, we had 302 vote yes, and we had 6 vote no. I would like the board support tonight by voting yes for the contract so that at the end of tonight's meeting, I can go back to the support staff members to inform them that beginning July 1st, 2026, we will have a new 5-year contract. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Next person up is Steve Ertl. Our policy
He
doesn't
can do
allow
that.
donating time. Would you like your
By
3
policy, he can
minutes?
do
then?
that.
Okay.
We do have a policy for that, Chris. It, we have it in the policy.
One.
I'll pull it out. We talked
Yeah, pull
about,
it out because I don't recall it.
I don't have my computer in front of me.
I'm not aware of that, so.
We went over that.
Well, why don't we do this, Steve? We'll hold, if you hold, we'll call up another person and then we can go back to that.
But I mean, I'll put my time in like this.
Like, what? I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead.
Okay. That's up to you.
I wish everybody would take the time just for a second and look at the people that you're going to be letting go. 35 years, 28 years. And the most we can give them is 3 minutes. My mom was one of the first people that went to this school 93 years ago. There has to come a point too where good people that do good jobs are more important than taking out other things that we really don't need. We have to respect the people that put their time and effort into this. So I wish everybody would at least respect the time and give them more than 3 minutes for 28 years or 35 years. So as myself, as a person in this community that fights for businesses, advocates for different places, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your service. We as families, we as people in this community appreciate your service. And I think you deserve more than 3 minutes of this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Our next person is Samuel Reyes.
Good evening. My name is Sam Reyes. I'm an employee of the district's grounds department. I would like to address the proposed removal of our first level supervisors. I understand that the board has difficult decisions to make, but I'm concerned about the decision to terminate first level supervisors like William Young, known as Kirk to most, and Chris Gricko. From my perspective, they have contributed significantly to team stability, performance, morale, and key projects. Removing them may create uncertainty and negatively affect continuity and staff confidence. I work closely with them, and based on my experience, their leadership has been effective and valuable. Kirk and Gricko have been employees of this district in their respective departments for years, correction, decades, and have risen to the position of supervisor through their hard work and leadership. They're a big part of why our departments function well. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider this decision, given the potential impact on our departments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next caller I have is Danica Hartenfeld.
Does he know now? You told him? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Danica Hartenfeld, and I'm a resident here in the district. I've owned my home in Smithfield Township since 2004, and I've lived in the Poconos nearly all my life. I'm here tonight because East Stroudsburg Area School District is making major staffing and financial decisions that directly impact students, staff, taxpayers, and our entire community and I believe the community deserves clear answers. Over the past year, the district has created multiple administrative and support roles, including a food service secretary, dental service facilitator, supervisor of social services, director of professional learning, executive director of human resources, director of human resources, special education coach, special education intake specialist, director of comprehensive student support, director of special education, and additional positions. They're all on the administration side. At the same time, we're now discussing eliminating or reducing operational roles in communications and operations, environmental services grounds, and maintenance supervisors, positions that directly impact daily school operations, facility upkeep, and response times. These are just not line items on a spreadsheet. These are people's livelihoods. These are individuals who keep our schools running every day. While you eliminate these roles, you're not just restructuring, you're affecting families, stability, and the quality of the environment our students rely on. It's also important to note that in January 2025, the board approved a motion allowing the superintendent to hire professional and support employees between regularly scheduled meetings as deemed necessary with later ratification. Now, as we face budget concerns and restructuring, residents are asking reasonable questions. How are these staffing decisions impacting the budget? Why were administrative roles expanded while operational roles are now being reduced? What is the full financial impact on taxpayers? Which I think we got some tonight, so thank you. I understand the district has a business to run. From what I recall from previous meetings I attended and following the feasibility studies, we are now at 24 million, now updated $11 million in deficit. I worked in corporate America for 20 years, and I understand you need to balance a budget. I own a small business. We have to balance a budget. And I understand you have to make some tough decisions. Budgets and efficiencies are important, but so is transparency and communication. The community deserves to understand the priorities behind these decisions, especially we may also face a tax increase. I just understand that we're going to run out of money in 1 to 2 years. While decisions affecting livelihood, school operations, and taxpayers, the community deserves transparency, accountability, and leadership that puts people first. And our students deserve to have schools that are properly maintained. Thank you for your time and for serving our community. Good evening.
Thank you.
Mike, I should add, Keith showed it to me. Keith was 100% right. I was 100% wrong.
Okay,
So if,
but Steve took his time anyway, so I.
only on my bad advice, I think if Mr. Hauser wants an update.
Sure, I'm fine with that. Mr. Mayhausen, did you want to complete what you had there? You're welcome.
We have a, is this on?
Should be. Yeah, you're good.
We have a large district, 2 campuses, 10 schools to maintain. This is a lot to manage. And that's a lot of institutional knowledge and experience just to lose. This decision will impact the schools, our department, and more importantly, the students. We respectfully come before you tonight to ask the agenda item be tabled or for further discussion. Our hope that more conversations can be held to avoid such a drastic change in leadership. We would welcome the opportunity to collaborate with decision makers in an effort to help them better understand the daily operations of our department. So there is a thorough appreciation of the negative effects this change would have. This board has always championed the success of the district's students and community. We believe that tabling this item and engaging in further dialogue is a decision that truly honors the mission of maximizing today's potential for tomorrow's success for our students, our schools, and the dedicated people who care for them every day. I want to thank you for your time tonight. Respectfully, myself, Wesley English, Boyd Counterman, Kevin Monick, Joey Aniana, Douglas Hafler, William Young III, Nick Walsh, and Sam Reyes. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, and we apologize for the interruption of your time. Thank you for finishing. Our next speaker, Tara Probst.
Hello, East Stroudsburg School Board, and congratulations to all the students and their success. I'm sure you're on the countdown until the end of the school year. A couple things. I just had a couple questions about the budget. You had said that the student average spend was $25,000, roughly around there. And in 2013, when we had a bipartisan commission, we found that East Stroudsburg was spending between $13,500 and $14,000 per student, right where the state wants you. So I just wanted to know, did you have basic education combined with special ed for that number?
I apologize. We can't have question
Okay,
and
well,
answers
that's
like
my
that.
question to the board. Is the
Okay.
$25,000 basic ed and special ed combined? Because if it's only basic ed, then I don't know how it got to 10,000 more per student in 2 years. The second question I had is that most schools' fund balances don't exceed 20%. As a matter of fact, Stroudsburg keeps theirs at 11%. And I know there's assigned and unassigned. You really do have a healthy fund balance compared to other school districts. And, you know, I know you have capital funds for buildings and all these different levels, but your fund balance is actually quite high for a $190 million budget, in my estimation. East Stroudsburg Borough is 72% tax-free. They've got the schools, the hospitals, that, you know, the colleges, the doctor's offices, the nonprofits, the churches that don't get taxed. So in my estimation, you're doing, you know, the best you can when most of your properties are not taxable. Maybe that's something in the future we can fix at the state. The cyber charter, chipping away, it's happening again this year. We are in budget times, and here's really the meat of what I wanted to talk about. Whenever there's a budget, it's always doom and gloom. You're not the first school district to, you know, be doom and gloom, but it always ends up okay. And here's why East Stroudsburg is going to be okay. From 2015 to 2022, before I was in office, the state gave you $5 million between that whole time. Since I've been in office on 3 budgets, you've got $18 million. Plan on getting at least another 6, if not more, again this year. In your defense, you were the worst funded school in the entire Commonwealth. You were number 500. You have been shortchanged for over 2 decades under not great leadership in Harrisburg. So in the last 3 years, we've been trying to fix that. We're not even close to being done helping you. So when things look bleak, know that we will come through for you. We have $18 million in 3 years versus $5 million in 7 years? So we're going to continue to fund public education through the state so that we can keep our taxes lower on our residents, because people can't afford to live. They can't even afford to have babies. So if we want to keep this population going in East Stroudsburg, we need to make it more affordable for the people who live here. So I'm asking you to consider all the good things that were going on, and please have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Tara. And please know, as the board, we do appreciate you fighting for us, and we do appreciate that. Okay, our next speaker, Jim Cox. Okay, thank you, Jim. Do we have Corey available from before? No? Okay. Are there any other comments from the public? Okay. Seeing none, then we'll move on. Thank you. Does anyone on the board have unfinished business? Sure, we all have unfinished business, but not for the public here. Okay. Our motion to adopt the board policies as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the agreement presented with CHA Consulting for professional engineering services in accordance with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion to approve the updated organizational chart effective July 1st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Can we,
Go over the changes a little bit by level?
yeah, I was just gonna say,
Just so the
we
community
may want to
understands what it
review
is.
those changes a bit.
Okay, we'll turn that over to Dr. Vitale. Just give 1 second to set that up.
So we are eliminating the position of Director of Communications and Operations and 5 first-level supervisors, maintenance, grounds, environmental services, which there are 2 positions for that. And we are replacing all of those positions with a director of facilities position, which is in a later agenda item, which will be posted shortly. That director of facilities will oversee just facilities. And then from there, the supervisor of building and grounds and the supervisor of maintenance and grounds and supervisor of environmental services will report to that director of facilities. The director of communications and operations position, there was some overlap in other departments. So the other departments have taken some of that work and left facilities just as a director of facilities position.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
No, thank you for the explanation.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? A motion to eliminate the following positions for operational efficiency as outlined in the organizational chart effective July 1, 2026. Director of Communications and Operations, First Level Supervisor of Environmental Services, First Level Supervisor of Grounds, First Level Supervisor of Maintenance.
To move.
Second.
Discussion?
I think it's probably noting just that they are all administrative.
They are all within the Act 93, and none of this is being done for performance. They are all amazingly dedicated professionals to our district and have given us years of service.
And we thank them for that.
And they are administrative positions.
They are administrative positions, correct?
Okay, any other discussion from the board? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yep. Well. A motion to approve the position description for Director of Facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This will be posted.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
The Director of Facilities, correct. Other questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the updated position description for Chief of Police, Director of Technology, Executive Director of Human Resources, Assistant Superintendent for District Programs, and Assistant Superintendent of Pupil Services.
To move.
Second.
Discussion?
This is due to the change in the org chart, if I'm understanding
Yep,
correctly.
this is parsing out some of those job responsibilities.
So this pretty much would assure that the work being done is still going to be supervised and done.
Correct, absolutely.
Well, okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve items 1 and 2 as per the recommendations of the Education Programs and Resources Committee.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve the waiver agreement between the East Stroudsburg Area School District and the parent of the student with case, and the case number is listed there.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Did you skip one? No.
Did I skip it?
No.
No. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Which one did you? Trips and extracurriculars,
Which one?
121 and 122.
We're not there yet. We're on
Not there
1:30.
yet.
We're not there yet.
We're-
We're at the
Okay.
special
We're at
one, we're at 113, special education waiver.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, we're good?
Sorry. Yep.
Okay. Motion to approve that, we just did that. Motion to approve the waiver agreement, and we just voted. I'm sorry. Okay, I was distracted. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on. Motion to approve the field trips as listed, and you can see them listed there.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the implementation of the High School South HOSA Future Healthcare Professionals Club.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the agreement to participate in the 26-27 Pennsylvania School Board Access Program.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve the proposed adjudication with regard to the expulsion hearing held on April 6, 2026 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the recommendation to modify expulsion requirement, agreed upon expulsion, waiver of school board hearing, and release agreement for the case listed in substantially the same form as presented at this meeting, contingent upon the receipt of any manifestation determinations indicating the infractions were not manifestations of a disability, subject to final review by the school district's administration and legal counsel.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the settlement agreement for employee 7317 as presented. Questions? All in favor? Opposed? A motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between East Stroudsburg Board of Education and East Stroudsburg Area Educational Support Professional Association from 2026-27 to 2030-31.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Whatever.
Questions? Just a question, this doesn't have to be a roll call, this is a contract.
I think it does.
Should be.
If you voice vote it unanimously, it doesn't have to.
Okay.
If you want to, it's certainly fine if you want it on the record, but.
Well, we could voice vote if there's, but then we can go back. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Before we move on, I know tonight was a difficult night with elimination of positions, and I believe it's overshadowing the work we've done in negotiating this contract. I believe that this contract shows our support staff how much we value them through a compensation package that we mutually agreed upon. And Mr. Rosado spoke about the process. I don't know if in the history of this district, negotiations have been lighthearted, full of food, full of laughter, and full of just truly having mutual respect for one another. So on behalf of our district and the board, thank you for coming to the table. Thank you for listening, allowing us to make some changes, and for giving our people exactly what they deserve.
Thank you. Thank you. And I also want to just thank our superintendent and John, just for this, again, outstanding work. And, you know, we all learn a lesson of what happens when we really truly work in a spirit of cooperation and respect. And hopefully will continue for all of us in all of our things that we do here in the district. So again, thanks to both of you for that. Okay, and now we need a motion to approve the notice of charges for employee 11939.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the following memorandum of understanding between the East Stroudsburg Area School District and the East Stroudsburg Area Education Association regarding special education program position process.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the employment actions listed in accordance with the associated applicable policies, procedures, and contractual agreements. And that's the big one well listed there.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Extension.
Okay, we have an extension.
Page 1334.
And I have an abstention, page 3, number 1.
Okay.
You can.
I'm
You
not going to
abstain?
vote to make her be retired.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
This is-
sorry. I was going to say something kind about her. I want to thank Dr. Kulik, but we haven't voted yet, so you might still be working.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll wait till we vote, right? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, only that one.
right.
Everybody else can go.
I like it, yeah, all
I-
people are retired.
I would like to
Thank-
thank Gail for her
I
years.
didn't even see Gail back there.
She's
back there.
She's back.
Gail,
Other
come on,
retirees,
Gail.
And
So
just want to
she-
say thank you to all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Served our district.
All of the
All the retirees.
But I do want to thank Gail because Gail took my role as the old timer when I retired 5 years ago. And I have worked with Gail for more years than either one of us will admit. When we were first principals at elementary level, and it was amazing working with you. And I just thank you so much for all the wonderful things you've done for Resica over the years and for the district. It was always a pleasure to be your colleague.
I think the saying is, leave it better than you found it, and our district is definitely better than you found it. So thank you. I would say that everybody in this room has learned how to be an educator from you and what you have modeled, but also everyone on this list that is retiring.
Yeah.
It is decades of service
Yes.
to our families, to our students, and to our community. We will be at a loss because of this all of these retirements. So we appreciate Dr. Kulik, but also everybody on this list of what they have given to our district.
Absolutely.
Okay. For that.
Yes. All right.
And on to the golf course.
All right.
Okay, now, again, I got distracted.
Sorry.
Okay, 14. Motion that the Board of Directors of the East Stroudsburg Area School District do hereby authorize the administration to work with PFM Financial Advisors as municipal advisor, Eckert, Siemens, Sharon, and Malo as board counsel, and the solicitor in conjunction with the issuance of general obligation bond Series A of 2026 and general obligation bond Series B of 2026, issued via competitive dual-track process, the proceeds for which will be used towards the current refunding and restructuring of the district's general obligation bond Series AA of 2017, general obligation bond Series AAA of 2017, and the general obligation notes Series of 2021. And no, I will not repeat that.
So moved.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
We voting on this? Actually, when she'll get the numbers back to us, not next month, but the following. June board meeting. I just want to make sure everybody's clear.
Yep, thank you.
And good, thank you for the clarification, and we approved on that. Motion to approve the revised property tax rebate resolution in accordance with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the extended service agreement with Daktronics in accordance with the recommendation of the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve items 1 to 3 in accordance with the recommendations of the Property and Facilities Committee and Finance Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the payment of bills and unaudited treasurer's report listed in this agenda for the 25-26 fiscal year in accordance with Section 287 of the Public School Code, recent directives from the Department of Education, and interpretations made by the Auditor General.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the payment of the following CHA invoices for services rendered in accordance with the recommendation of the Properties Facilities Committee and the Finance Committee.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the request to establish a special activity fund for the Lehman Pantry.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Question, is it, they're having a fund, so is that for collecting money? Or,
So we receive donations from different organizations. So we just received almost a $5,000 donation from Giants. And what we do with those donations is that we parse them out to each school pantry. Some of our schools never had a pantry because they never had a funding source for it.
Okay.
We have now found sponsors and funding sources. So now this is starting pantries in different schools so that it is a special activity account running through the district.
the reason I'm asking that is, so now if like, say, a local church wanted to donate, instead of, in lieu of canned goods, they can make a monetary donation to the pantry through the school district in their name
And
for
all
long
10
term.
of our schools will have it.
Every school's gonna have it. Okay,
Correct.
that, I like that. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, and we've had voted yes to that.
We already, yeah, I'm sorry, discussion already done.
That's
sorry.
okay. No, I want you to ask your
I-
question. I just wanted to make sure I said that in my head. A motion to approve the following donations in accordance with the recommendations of the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Questions?
Just thank you. to the community for
Yeah,
donating.
very much thank you. Donations are always very much appreciated. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the revised 25-26 East Stroudsburg Area School Calendar as presented to reflect 2 snow days and 5 virtual instruction days, 7 for High School South due to no heat, and establishing June 4th, 2026 as the High School South graduation and June 5th as the High School North graduation.
Question.
Yes,
Will that be outside weather permitting?
Yeah.
it is outside weather permitting, correct. And we do not, what?
And weather will.
We are,
Weather
as
will.
well.
Gonna be-
We are able to not make up 2 snow days because of the number of instructional hours. So those last 2 days will be pivoted to professional learning for our staff. And the final day will be the now second annual staff appreciation picnic. And you're
Excellent.
all invited.
Thank you.
And last year's was really nice.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful, yes.
Okay,
Hopefully you don't get sunburn again.
Mhm.
Less heat this year.
and we'll
Yeah,
just
it'll be
repeat
good
those.
cooler.
June 4th for High School South and June 5th for High School North. We had first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You did not have a.
Oh, first,
Oh, well, let's have a first and second.
there you go, me and Debbie.
Okay,
Now we-
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I get excited about graduation, I'm sorry. A motion to,
People in
approve.
this room.
Yes, I know. Motion to approve the contracts listed for their specific services, rates, and effective dates, subject to the review and recommendations of the solicitor and approval of the administration regarding the terms and conditions of any final contract other than price or cost. And there's quite a few pages listed there.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the Colonial IU 20 operating budget for 26-27 school year in the amount of $4,697,319, with the East Stroudsburg Area School District's amount being $39,884 as previously distributed and presented to the board.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and all, if there is any announcements for adjourn, any announcements?
Motion adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so there's no announcements then, okay. A motion adjourn, all
And you
in
know, if I
favor?
wanted to say something, I would have said it.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, wait,